Hello and welcome to Trojan Sports Now. I'm Jamal Kennedy.
And I'm Kyle Shook. Stick around as we bring you the latest news and scores from Troy Athletics. The Trojan baseball team faced off against UT Arlington on the road and closed out the series with a victory. Mason Rogers drove in 4 in the last 3 innings of the game by himself. He sparked a fierce Trojan comeback and a 13-5 victory over the Mavericks. The Trojans trailed 5-2 after 6 before exploding for 11 runs in the final 3 innings of the ballgame. Now, Rogers wasn't the only Trojan out there having fun. Matt Sanders, Trevor Davis, and Justin Friend all recorded 3 hits to help contribute to the Trojan victory. The Trojans scored 7 in the 9th, which is the first time they've scored 7 in an inning since April 15, 2016 against Arkansas State. Senior Mark Skinner made his 95th appearance as a Trojan and recorded his 15th save.
And the Trojan baseball team also won a back and forth game against the Crimson Tide Tuesday night. Sarah Drake has the highlights.
I'm really proud of the win, obviously. When you have a dramatic 9th inning walk-off, it doesn't really matter who you're playing. The fact that it was Alabama and a huge crowd makes it even more dramatic, I suppose.
The Troy baseball team welcomed the Crimson Tide of Alabama into Riddle Pace Field for a thrilling 12-11 victory on Tuesday night. 5 different Trojans had multiple hits to help with the 14-hit performance.
Oh man, everybody battled tonight. That's what you call a complete team win. Everybody battled. Drew Frederick battled 2 strikes, had 2 big hits that got in and started for us. Like the inning that we tied the game, he had a big hit that started up, and then the inning that we took the lead, he had a big hit to start us up. And then Steve, 2 great bunts. Great punch.
Coach Smart also talked about his concerns in the top of the 7th inning when Alabama scored 5 times.
I was concerned, quite frankly, because that was a terrible inning from us. We walked 2, we hit 2, they had a couple of base hits, and they get 5 with 3 wild pitches in the inning. We didn't execute very well. But I really thought after that inning, our team, they took a punch in the gut and they regrouped, and I thought they finished like a championship-type club should.
Matt Sanders went 3 for 5 on the night with 2 RBIs, but his biggest RBI came in his last at-bat when he sent the Tide home packing. But the at-bat didn't start the way he wanted it to.
Well, I got down to 2 strikes. I really wasn't trying to do that, but once I got there, I tried to battle. I got a good pitch to hit, and I put it in play. It worked out. I guess I didn't come through my previous 2 at-bats, so I just really wanted to come through in the last one.
The Trojans' next game will be Friday against Georgia Southern. Sarah Drake, Trojan Sports Now.
4 Trojans, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 all had multi-hit performances led by Drew Frederick's 3 for 4 performance.
Sunday was a beautiful day. The sun was shining and the temperature was pretty comfortable. The story's all downhill from here as the Trojan softball team was finishing up a weekend series against UT Arlington. Jalen Bivens has the highlights.
This afternoon, the Trojan softball team wrapped up a weekend series against UT Arlington. The Trojans fell to the Mavericks, losing 5-2, and things began to go downhill for the Trojans in the late innings.
I mean, we talk about the late innings a lot, and we just didn't do that. Didn't win the late innings. I mean, they beat us in the late innings, and that's kind of the story. I don't think we played great defense, and I thought we pitched pretty well. Had some costly mistakes that cost us, but again, I mean, they came out here and they beat us. So I mean, give them props for doing that.
Meg Willis made her debut start Saturday and had a shutout game against the Mavericks. Coach Mullins would go on to say that Willis has been a big help for the Trojans.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it was her first career start yesterday and threw a shutout. So very proud of her. I mean, she's really helped us a lot in the last back part of the season. So I mean, we're going to continue to use her, and again, just pitch as a staff as we've been doing. So proud of her.
UT Arlington's offense proved to be too much for Claire Graves. Head coach Beth Mullins decided to switch up pitchers, and she said if she had to make that decision again, she'd still stick to it.
I mean, just, again, they had kind of gotten a little momentum on Claire, and she had done a great job, and it was the 3rd time through the lineup, and just trying to change it up. And again, I thought Meg did a great job, just called an unfortunate pitch for the squeeze, and then she got us out of it. So, we throw as a staff, and I'd do it again. I trust any of those pitchers to come in anytime.
Coach Mullins says that there are a few things that the team needs to work on before the next game.
I mean, we've just got to continue to have quality at bats, and when we get runners on base, continue to execute. And we had plenty of runners on base, and just, it was just kind of one of those things we just couldn't get them across today. We were able to do that very easily in the 2nd game yesterday, and just couldn't do that today. So again, give them props. They got us out when they needed to, and we didn't get them out when we needed to.
Jalen Bivens, Troy, TrojanVision Sports.
After last weekend's series, Becca Hartley leads the team in hitting with a .353 average, 35 runs scored, 41 hits, 13 home runs, and 34 RBIs.
Alrighty, gosh almighty. Spring is in the air, and so are footballs over at Veterans Memorial Stadium as the football team held their first open scrimmage of the spring. Gates of Veterans Memorial Stadium were open once again with the scoreboard looking down on the 2016 Dollar General Bowl champs as they held their first spring practice of the year.
There was a lot of good moments. You know, offensively bounced back from a really bad Wednesday. We held some players today on both sides. We got better, not physical enough. That's the biggest detriment on the whole football team is we weren't physical enough. We've got to be more physical to get where we want to be.
The talk of the day was all about the backfield after a 2016 season in which the Trojans rushed for 28 touchdowns. That backfield could get even more dangerous come fall.
I think we got 4 quality players. We got one guy that's proven himself. I think that's what you got to be careful of. We got Jordan Chun's the only proven commodity we have. Jamarius he's explosive, probably our most explosive player on our whole football team as far as just his ability to burst. BJ's just versatile. He's got great patience, the most patient running back we have in our stable. So, you know, I think we've got the potential to have a really deep running back crew.
Now, while it is the first scrimmage of the 2017 season taking place here in the spring, there's a lot of growth to be made. But there was a bevy of players that stood out to Coach Brown.
I thought offensively, guys that stuck out, obviously, were 2 running backs, Jamarius Henderson and B.J. Smith, stood out. I thought the quarterbacks, Sawyer and Caleb Barker, both had much better days than they did last Saturday. And then interior D-line, Baron Poole, who's a guy that we're counting on to be a guy. Then Jalen Harris and Cam Melton, 2 seniors that we've put some pressure on this offseason because our pass defense has to be better.
The spring game is coming up in a few weeks on April 15th, as a matter of fact, and the 2017 schedule was released a few weeks back. It will open with Boise State on Saturday, September 2nd.
The track and field team is off and blazing. You thought I'd say running, right? Well, wrong, because they're doing more than just running. Unless you mean running the show, because that's what they did down at the Florida Relays, with a little extra cheese on the side, according to head coach Mark Davis.
We had some very good performances. We were happy. We did what we wanted to do and go down and get some fast performances, get some fast times, you know, the good long jumps and things like that. So they did some real damage. Hakeem ran fast in the 100, made the national list. Corey threw well in the disc, made the national list. 4x1 on the men's side made the East Region list, so that we would be going, if the season were to end right now, we'd be in the first round of NCAAs.
Aside from qualifying for nationals, Hakeem Montgomery set a new personal record in the 100-meter run, running a 10.25.
3 Trojans shot under par as Troy made a move up the leaderboard in Sunday's final round of the Mason Rudolph Championship at Vanderbilt Legends Club. The Trojans moved past number 43 Liberty to take 8th place in a field that features 6 top 50 men's golf teams and 9 top 75 teams. Troy shot 2 under as a team on Sunday as Luke Moser and Jared Betcher both fired rounds of 2 under 69 on the day. Jake Tiffin carded 3 birdies and an eagle to also shoot 2 under.
At last serve, the women's tennis team opened their Sun Belt Conference schedule by splitting with Georgia State and Coastal Carolina. The team dropped their opening match against Georgia State, and head coach Ralia El-Sisi explains what hurt her team.
Yeah, it was kind of exciting. We knew we could. The girls were excited, and we knew we could do it. So, what hurt us early is we didn't get the double points. But single wise, the girls performed they probably played one of their best matches in the season, because I knew it's conference matches. They're competing for, Troy.
Players to pick up wins in singles play included Hannah Caesar, Alicia Rodriguez, and Luisa Ferrati. Still to come on Trojan Sports Now, we'll have a preview of the Trojan baseball team's weekend home series against Georgia Southern.
But first, I sit down and chat with the new soccer head coach, Jed O'Connor. Stick around for more Trojan Sports Now.